Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you all today. My name is Dr. S.K. Singh, and I hold a PhD in this field. I'm excited to present our topic today, which is titled Innovations in Scientific Research. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore some key advancements and insights that are shaping our industry. We'll also look at upcoming trends and practical applications. So, let's get started and dive into this fascinating subject together. Welcome to our discussion on herbal and natural cosmetics. As you may have noticed, the demand for these products has grown rapidly. People are increasingly drawn to them because they believe they are safer and free from harmful chemicals. It's a perception that's very appealing, isn't it? But here's the reality. Everything, including plant extracts, is made up of chemicals, whether they are natural or synthetic. It's important to understand that natural doesn't mean chemical-free. Many so-called herbal products still contain preservatives, fragrances, and stabilizers. These ingredients are added to ensure safety, maintain quality, and extend shelf life. So even if a product is labeled as herbal, it might still have these chemical components. Now, this brings us to a key point. Because of regulatory gaps and flexible labeling rules, products marketed as herbal may not be entirely natural. Sometimes, the label can be misleading. This leads us to a critical question. Are herbal cosmetics truly chemical-free, or is that just a marketing perception? It's something we need to explore further as we look at the bigger picture of natural products in the market. When we talk about what herbal means, it's actually derived from plant-based ingredients. But it's important to understand that there isn't a universal legal definition for herbal in many regions, which can lead to some confusion. What this can include are ingredients like preservatives, stabilizers, or fragrances that may not be what we typically think of as natural. Now, there's a common myth I'd like to address. Some people believe that herbal products are 100% chemical-free, but the reality is quite different. Even water and plant extracts are considered chemicals, they're just natural ones. Many products on the market contain both natural ingredients and synthetic ones. So, it's really about understanding that herbal doesn't automatically mean completely free of chemicals. This is an important point to keep in mind as we explore how to make informed choices about the products we use every day. Let's take a closer look at the regulatory definitions and the gaps that exist in this area. You might have seen terms like herbal, natural, or Ayurvedic used quite frequently. However, what's important to understand is that these terms are often not strictly regulated by any governing body. That means there's a lot of flexibility, sometimes too much, in how companies can use these words in their marketing. Essentially, they can label their products as herbal or natural, even if the products don't meet a rigorous or standardized definition. This lack of regulation creates a significant gap because it can lead to consumer confusion or even mistrust. It underscores the importance of being critical and informed as we navigate these marketing claims, especially when these terms are so casually used in the industry. So, understanding this gap helps us see why clear and consistent regulation is crucial for ensuring consumer safety and transparency. Let's take a closer look at this herbal shampoo case study. The key ingredients here are neem and amla extracts, which are well known for their natural benefits. Of course, there are also sulfates included, mainly for creating the foam that consumers expect. Now, it's important to note that sulfates are allowed within certain limits by regulations, so companies don't always need to highlight them prominently on the label. Moving on to the herbal face cream case study, the label claims it's 100% herbal, which can be quite appealing to consumers. However, when we look at the actual ingredients, we see aloe vera extract, which is truly herbal, but also parabens. These are preservatives and synthetic fragrances. This highlights a common theme in the industry. Products marketed as herbal often contain a mix of herbal bases combined with chemical additives. It's crucial for us as professionals to understand this blend and communicate it clearly to consumers. Recognizing these nuances helps us better evaluate product claims versus their actual composition and maintain transparency and trust. Let's talk about the so-called natural marketing loophole. You might be surprised to learn that there's no strict percentage required for herbal claims on products. Even just 1 or 2% of herbal extract can be enough to justify labeling a product as herbal. For example, a cream with only a minimal amount of herbal content can still be marketed as an herbal product, which can be quite misleading. Now, moving on to the preservative reality. Herbal products tend to spoil quite easily because they don't have the same preservative properties as synthetic ingredients. To keep them fresh and safe, preservatives are necessary. The main reasons are to prevent bacteria growth and to extend the product's shelf life. Common preservatives you'll see in these products include parabens and phenoxyethanol. These additives help maintain product stability, but it's important for us to be aware of what's in these formulations and what that means for consumers. This ties back into the overall theme of transparency and honesty in product labeling and marketing. Let's talk about global regulatory differences. You'll notice that some countries have stricter rules when it comes to ingredient disclosure. They require companies to be very transparent about what's in their products. Similarly, these countries often have tighter regulations around claims like organic, making sure consumers are not misled. On the other hand, some regions allow more flexible marketing terms, which can sometimes make it harder to understand what you're really getting. This variability leads to labeling challenges. For example, ingredient names can be complex and difficult to understand, which can be confusing for consumers. Plus, there are hidden terms like fragrance or base, which don't always clearly specify what chemicals are involved. As a result, many consumers often can't identify the actual chemicals in their products, making it harder to make informed choices. Overall, these differences highlight the importance of understanding both the regulations in each market and the challenges they pose for transparency and consumer awareness. Let's take a closer look at the health and safety perspective. While natural ingredients are often seen as safer, they can also cause issues like allergies or skin irritation in some people. It's important to remember that synthetic chemicals, when used within safe limits, can also be safe. The key point here is that the risk isn't just about whether an ingredient is natural or synthetic, but really depends on how the product is formulated. Now, how do brands stay compliant with these safety standards? They follow permitted ingredient limits set by regulations. Additionally, they use scientific names for ingredients, which helps with clarity and consistency. Blended formulations are common, but they also need to be legally correct. However, it's worth noting that even if a product is compliant legally, it doesn't always mean it's completely transparent about what's inside. So, in summary, safety is about proper formulation and understanding the ingredients, not just their origin. And compliance involves following regulations carefully while also being transparent with consumers whenever possible. When choosing skincare or cosmetic products, don't just rely on claims that say they are herbal or natural. It's really important to read the full ingredient list to understand exactly what's inside. Sometimes, labels can be misleading, so taking a moment to check the ingredients helps you make a more informed choice. Look for products that are certified with recognized quality or organic standards. Certification ensures that the product has met certain safety and quality benchmarks, giving you peace of mind. Be cautious of vague terms like fragrance or base, which don't tell you much about what's actually in the product. These can sometimes hide ingredients that might cause sensitivities or allergies. Whenever possible, choose products with fewer and simpler ingredients. Usually, the fewer ingredients, the less chance there is for irritation, and it often means the product is gentler on your skin. And remember, always do a patch test before trying a new product. This simple step can help you catch any allergic reactions early, before applying it all over your face or body. By keeping these tips in mind, you can make better, safer choices that suit your skin's needs and support your overall skincare goals. So to clarify, it's not about labeling products as natural versus chemical. The real focus should be on safety, transparency, and making informed choices. When we talk about herbal products, they aren't completely chemical-free. Rather, they're a mix of natural ingredients and sometimes added components. It's important to remember that the term herbal can sometimes be misleading because regulations around labeling are quite flexible. What truly matters for safety isn't just whether something is natural, it's how it's formulated and how we use it. Being aware of what's in the product and reading labels carefully can really help us make better, safer decisions. So, at the end of the day, informed choices come down to staying educated and vigilant about what we're putting into our bodies. For further support, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can contact us through the provided channels, and we'll be happy to assist you with any additional questions or guidance. Remember, we're here to help you succeed beyond this presentation. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. We truly appreciate your engagement and look forward to supporting your efforts moving forward.